There we have it. Good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley with your news in motion. I see that I was on mute. See, when I'm trying to do this by myself, it doesn't work. But anyway, it is Tuesday, y'all, December the 7th, 2021. Come on in the room. I see you, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Denise Reed. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you are hearing me as live, you hear me saying good morning and shout outs to different people. I do that every morning. We come on live at 7:25 a.m. Eastern time. So you're hearing me say good morning, but I understand that some of you are watching it by replay or some of you are in a different time zone. So whatever time zone or replay you are watching, I am just so grateful that you allowed me to just spend a little time with you on today. I see you, Yvonne and Marion and Jeffrey Allen James and Rosanna and Katrina. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, it's a great day. I'm going to tell you that. I don't know what you may have going on, but it's a great day. I see you, Sandra Rogers. Good morning. Talk about it Tuesday. There you go, sister. How are you? How are you? I know there's many of you who are tuning in, whether you're on LinkedIn, good morning or afternoon or evening to you, or if you're checking it out on YouTube, the same to you. We know we have our residents high school news and motion ambassador, Lexi Williams. Good morning to you, sister. Good morning, Philip Bridges. Good morning. Y'all, I'm so excited, y'all, as we're doing this week and next week, and then we'll take a 2-week break. I'm just glad you're hanging out with me. I just glad you're hanging out with me. All right, y'all, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, December the 7th, 2021, and we have a lot of news. Good morning, Hester. Good morning, Kim Edmondson. And it's time for the quick headlines. That's happening Tuesday, right, y'all? I am your host, Gail Dudley, and once again, I am just so grateful that you have allowed me time to spend with you. Good morning, Judy Neal. Good morning, Diane Ladybug. Whether you are watching it live or on the replay, I just want to say hello to you. And again, thank you for allowing me to spend this moment with you as you are drinking your coffee, your mimosa, your tea, your water, your hot chocolate, depending upon where you are, wherever you are. Good morning. I see you, Davia. I see you. I see you, Riakis. Oh, wow, y'all. Yes. Y'all got it going on with me today. I'm just so excited. Yo, we got a lot of news. We got a lot of news. And I'm going to also try to squeeze in a quick workshop. I know it's not Wednesday workshop. We stopped doing that. But I need to put in as much content as I possibly can. So I'm just going with the flow, y'all. Yep, that's happening Tuesday. All right, y'all, as you're coming on in here, go ahead and just speak to someone that's in the thread. Just say hello, how you doing? Ask them how you can pray for them. We'll be right back. I don't know if you're still like me, but I still be jamming to the music. And again, Facebook, I own the rights to this music. Just check out Timothy Carpenter. He'll let you know that it is in fact true that I own the rights to this. Good morning, Pastor Annette. All right, y'all. American athletes can compete in the Winter Games. However, the U.S. will not send any governmental officials to Beijing Olympics. So that's happening. Y'all, more Haitian hostages have been released. Praise God for that. 3 additional people from a group of missionaries kidnapped in Haiti in mid-October have been released, according to Christian Aid Ministries on yesterday. 2 other captives were released last month, while 12 people remain in hostage. So let's pray for all of their release. Y'all, the missionary group, 17 people, including 5 children, were kidnapped outside Port-au-Prince on October the 16th. So y'all, let's celebrate that, but let's continue to pray that all of them get released, all of them. Yep, these are 2 pieces, y'all. See y'all here. This is from Paparazzi Jewelry, Latrice Jones. You know, she's a sponsor. Yep, I put on 2 of them today just to do some things. You can adjust them. I just kind of like put them on. I liked, because I'm doing like the workout outfit today. I'm just chilling the next 2 weeks, and then we're off 2 weeks. But I just thought, you know, yep, y'all, her stuff, her pieces. And again, there's other consultants that are on here They're really great pieces. Try some, really. All right, y'all. NASA is reporting. NASA announces the first new astronaut class in 4 years, selecting 10 candidates from a pool of more than 12,000 people. Y'all, that's happening. Missions may include a lunar landing. So I think NASA probably said, listen here, Bezos and Musk, I'm going to need y'all to move over because we got this. We got this over here. So that's happening. NASA's like, shh, and it ain't going to cost y'all millions to get up there either. Well, that's happening. Good morning, Lori and Yvonne. Yes, good morning. Y'all here after 16 years in office. I really like this woman. Germany's Angela Merkel, age 67, says goodbye. She will say goodbye on tomorrow. She became the first female chancellor on November the 22nd, 2005. Y'all, the Associated Press is reporting that she has been credited for raising Germany's profile and influence, and I believe that is true, working to hold the European Union together, managing a string of crises, and being a role model for women. Yeah, I have these aspirations, and I'm like, well, I'm 56, getting ready to be 57, but it's okay. Joe Biden's what, 78? But anyway, she served alongside 4 U.S. presidents, and of course, our forever president sent a beautiful thank you, and it's all on Twitter. Just go check out his Twitter, and he just gives her credit and motivates her and encourages her and honors her and gives her kudos. That's former President Barack Obama, our forever president. She also served along 4 French presidents, 5 British prime ministers, and 8 Italian primers. Her chancellorship was marked by 4 major challenges: the global financial crisis, Europe's debt crisis, the 2015-2016 influx of refugees to Europe, and then, of course, the coronavirus pandemic. The girl is bad. She's just bad. Yeah, in a quote from David Welp, he says, when she first came onto the scenes in 2005, a lot of people underestimated her, but she grew in stature along with Germany's role in the world. And I believe she has. So kudos to you. Next time I'm in Germany, I've been there like 3 times now. I really want to come back. Hopefully we can have a spot of tea. I guess that's not Germany. We can have some, what's that stuff called? The steak, whatever. We can have some of that. Okay, I can't even think of it, but y'all know what I mean. If y'all know what it is, put it in there. And I'll just say good morning to you. Okay, I love Germany. I just want to tell y'all. All right, the New York Times is reporting that the Justice Department closes Emmett Till investigation without charges, and that is sad. That is sad. The department said it could not corroborate a book's claim that a central witness had recanted her statement about Emmett Till, a Black teenager, as you all know, killed by 2 white men in 1955. In a news release dated yesterday, federal officials said there was not enough evidence to pursue charges in the case, which was reopened after a historian claimed in a book of Carolyn Bryant Donham that the central witness whose account of an encounter with Emmett Till led to his death. So that's going on. It's sad. It's sad. But at least they did have it open. They were investigating. One day we shall rise. One day we shall rise. All right, y'all. New York Times is also reporting that the Justice Department filed voting rights suit against Texas over new mapping. Yeah, the department said the state's redistricting plan would violate the Voting Rights Act by discriminating against minority voters. We knew that already, didn't we? Yeah, the Justice Department sued Texas on Monday over the state's plan to redraw its voting districts, saying it would essentially make ballots cast by Black and Latino voters count for less than those of others. Well, I'm glad they're now looking into it. We need to be looking into it in every state. Here's the truth. Just pass the voting rights bill. Pass the bill. Pass the bill. You know, this narrative needs to end. It's actually old. We need to pass this. We need to pass this. In announcing the suit, Attorney General Merrick Garland said that the redistricting plan that the state's Republican-led legislator approved in October violates Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Okay, so y'all know there's this piece in there, but it's not what we're looking for. which says that voters cannot be denied equal access to a political process based on their race or ethnicity. Yeah, pass the bill. You're right, Kim. Yeah, we knew that. We knew that. Yeah, it's time for us to really, how do I want to say this? If we would just come together collectively, just as citizens and as constituents, to say enough of this, we want this passed. If we would hold our officials accountable for making sure they stop all this other nonsense and pass this bill, I think we can be further along. I do. All right, y'all. And speaking of that, Representative Devin Nunes, that's all right, he's leaving. Republican Californian District 22, he's going to resign from Congress at the end of the month. Bye. But y'all, guess where he's going? He's becoming the CEO of the other dude's media company. I'm still shocked. When did he get a media company? But whatever. So that's where he's going. So just expect more shenanigans to come. That's why right here at News in Motion, we're going to continue to bring you facts and research, look at the data, give you the information that you need so that we can get through what's false and what's truth and how we unpack these different articles and news pieces. Now, former Senator David Perdue, Republican of Georgia, has now announced his bid to run for governor in Georgia with the incumbent Brian Kemp, the current governor, Republican, in the primaries. And then now we have the Democratic challenger, Stacey Abrams, who has also announced her bid. Y'all got, my mind is moving. I got all kinds of plans. Don't be surprised if I call you up and say, I'm getting ready to have this little focus group. I got some things going on up in here. And I'm going to just tell you on the front side, I need the money to do it. There we go. I'm putting that out there. See, we always have these ideas and we always have these dreams. But what we don't understand is that when people are doing this type of work, we need the money to do it. Just like everyone else is raising buckets of money for their runs, for the candidacy, for nonprofit, or whatever it is. We need to understand, if you're wanting the content that we really need to educate the people, including those who are marginalized, who cannot pay that ticket item, we need some partners and some friends and some sponsors to come alongside of us to get this done. It's hard to do this with sponsors and companies and corporations, depend upon where they align, because they want to then dictate what you say and how you say. Trust me, I've been in a lot of conversations lately. They're like, well, can you cut this piece out? Can you not talk about this piece over here? That's not who News in Motion, that's not what we are about. So I have to always then deny them. But here's the truth, y'all. And I'm going to just be completely transparent since it's on the table right now. I cannot continue this level of research and not have the support that I need to do it. That's the truth. So we are going to be aligning with Al Edmondson's nonprofit so that we can receipt giving, whether it's for the food insecure or helping immigrant moms with housing, educational stuff. But we want to start having some classes. I'm not going to say too much because I have trolls on here. We're going to start some classes. And we want to target some in the marginalized community. So we cannot charge them. Y'all know my heart by now. I can't charge them. They're already struggling. They're trying to keep food on the table. They're trying to keep their babies in school. I can't charge them. So I'm going to need friends to come alongside of me, or if you know of grants or things out there that we can work on together so that we can keep this type of news and publication out there in the forefront. There it is. I said it. Good morning, Kenny Stanley. Now, y'all show some respect. I don't know if John Gore's on here or not, but listen, things you should never do. You should never wear memorabilia of Black fraternities or sororities without being a member. Don't do that. Don't disrespect. Don't disrespect. We can support, we can cheer them on, but don't act like you're a member and you're not. Show some respect to all of them. Y'all, yeah, Bootsy did a video wearing an Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity jacket. That's a no-no. You don't do that. Last year, he was caught wearing a Kappa Alpha Psi sweater at an NBA game, and they told him that. You don't do that. So y'all, let's show some respect. Variety is reporting that Drake withdraws his 2022 Grammy nominations for Best Rap Album and Best Rap Performance. Now, no reason is given yet for the withdrawal, so that's going to be interesting. I see you, John. John said, "Tell him that's a big no-no." And like, my husband's an alpha, okay? He's an alpha, and I went like, "What?" And I'm not. I'm just me, by me. But I was like, "What? You don't do that. You don't do that. No, that's a no-no." And all I could think of, John, was, I know John Gore's losing his mind right about now. You don't do that. Show some respect, y'all. Y'all, in the black and brown community, I'm gonna just talk about the black community. In the black community, and I'm going here because I am black. In the black community, if we would just start showing respect to each other and understand, they went through something to get there and to become a part of their Black Greek fraternity or sorority. Respect that. Put some respect on that. People who go to college, people who go to school, trade school, people who have businesses, and we've earned our space and we've worked our tails off to get there. Respect that. Put some respect on that. People who open the door and say, "Yes, ma'am," and "No, ma'am," and "Yes, sir," and "No, sir," and help you out and say, "Hey, do you need some assistance or help?" Put some respect on that. Y'all, people who are doing what they're doing and what they're called to do based upon what God has called them to do in this season, y'all put some respect on that. If we would just start there with respect, I think we would see a difference. I do. Didn't mean to go there, but there it is. All right, y'all, COVID news. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced, he's a Democrat, announced yesterday that the city would implement a COVID-19 vaccination mandate for all private sector employees in the city. So that's, I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's happening. Workers will be required to show proof of at least one vaccination dose by December 27th. Negative tests won't be accepted in lieu of shots. That's where they're going, y'all. That's where they're going. And many of y'all know my daughter and I will be traveling soon. And, the new mandates came down with international travel. And when I saw this last thing that the person sent me, I'm like, what? We should have stuck with Hawaii. Why didn't we do Hawaii? And because now it's like, I think it's 72 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours. And we get to Atlanta, we got to do it again. And we get there before we get off the plane, we got to do it again. So my nose is going to be blown up and sore by the time I get off that plane. But y'all, those are the precautions that have to take place. So hear me, y'all, wash your hands, practice social distancing, just wear your face mask. Now get this, y'all, the Guardian is reporting an Italian 50-year-old anti-vaxxer man tried to use a fake arm. We do that now? We go to that length not to get a shot? Really? A fake arm to get vaccinated. The healthcare worker, Felipe Buo, thought something was odd, so she told the man to take his shirt off. Well, when he does, she quotes that the color of the arm made me suspicious. And so I asked the man to uncover the rest of his left arm, then to take his shirt off. It was well made, but it wasn't the same color, she said. Now the man is facing charges. You're going to go through all that? Now you're going to probably end up in jail or have a fine that you can't pay. We do that? Y'all, okay, people are not feeling it. Talking still about COVID. People aren't feeling it. Several news sources are reporting that people are not going to the movie theaters. They're like, that's nasty. I ain't doing that. It's dark in here too. I don't know if y'all cleaned these seats, the floor, the headrest, the armrest. Nope, I ain't doing it. So the U.S. is saying most restaurants have rebounded, but 49% of the pre-pandemic moviegoers are no longer buying tickets. Over the weekend, ticket sales in the United States and Canada stood roughly at 96 million compared to 181 million over the same period of 2019. They're saying it's not just COVID. Because of everything that's happened during the pandemic, they're saying the ticket prices are rising and the concession prices are out of this world. So that's how people aren't doing. I'm watching mine at home. All right, now can we say greedy talking about movies? Y'all, the AV Club, and if you want to know what that stands for in the media terms, it's called Audio Visual Club. They're reporting that they have seen a long battle between the musicians and Spotify. The streaming app thinks that artists have a lot of, they're saying, you shouldn't be asking us for money and royalties. Well, there's a fight with the comedians. The comedians like, you're not going to keep streaming our stuff free. So they want fair royalty payments to it be extended to the comedians. For the first time, said we have a lot to gain. People are coming on the streaming platform. Well, Spotify said, I ain't giving y'all nothing. So what did Spotify do the other day? They removed all the popular work of hundreds of comedians from the platform. Yep, they removed Tiffany Haddish. They removed Kevin Hart. The two of them together went off. They were like, oh, no, you didn't. And so they now fighting, but you're going to pay me for what people already listen to. So this is getting ready to fall out. We don't know what's going to happen. The negotiations came to a halt and wiped out on November 24th. They were like, no. Spotify's like, we ain't paying y'all. And y'all know Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart together. They probably were cutting up, telling them, oh, you're going to get this. Robin Williams is another one. Jim Gaffigan is another one. John Mulaney is another one. There's so many. They're like, oh, no, you didn't. All right, y'all, this is what I want to give you today. And if you know anybody who's thinking about running for an office or anything, tell them, jump on here now or share this with them. All right, these are some things. And some of y'all know this already. I pulled out the whole notebook. This was a class that I went to. How do I do this way? I was a fellow in this class. It was a 9-month class. And we had all of Barack Obama's team. It was amazing. And I got through and I got one of the awards for raising within 9 months. I think I raised like $2.3 million. I used to do that for a living. I don't do that anymore, so don't ask me. But I did that. And so that was my platform. I was doing the faith community platform in the fellowship. So I decided I was going to reach out to some of the fellows and some of the people who ran the class. They've given me permission to use this. So again, I won't say too much because some things are going to roll out in January. So they've given me permission. I went, that's making bold moves. I say that every day. So I was like, I'm going to just start calling the top dogs. I'm going to stop going to these other people. I'm going to the top. I'm not waiting for other people to turn around. So they've given me permission to use these things and to modify, to make it more. So this is going to be under the umbrella of politically savvy. So here's a few things I want to just share with you as we get started. Because I'm going to unpack this more come January. I'm just giving you a taste today. So y'all, I'm calling this the politically savvy political leadership plan. Now there's several things you want to do. Get your paper and pencil or whatever. You want to identify your motivation. Why are you motivated to do it? There should be a reason, a platform for you wanting to do this. What is your motivation? What is your reasoning behind running for an office, working with a candidate, whatever that looks like? Why are you doing it? And that's including PTO, PTA, community advocate, activist, whatever. What's your motivation behind it? Now, you have to reflect on what drives you, your political ambitions, and what grounds you in your leadership. Those things are key. Those things are ideal. You have to focus on that first. Do not just jump in saying, I'm getting ready to run for something and not have a real reason as to why you're doing it. What happened that sparked that? What are you seeing? What does the landscape look like? What are you doing to spark that, to jump in? I don't know why I hear Davia in my ear right now. She's not, but I can, something she said to me when I was at her house a couple months ago. I'm hearing her. Political leadership goals. What are your political leadership goals? What do you hope to accomplish when you're doing what you're doing? Now, these same questions that I'm asking right now, you may be saying, that's not for me. I'm not into that. That's cool. But these are the same questions you need to be asking those individuals who are running for an office. So don't ignore these teachings when I put this on here. This can benefit you as well. when you're looking at, okay, let me see, who are the candidates, what's the landscape, and you'll ask them, what's your motivation behind this, what is your story behind this, why are you running, what are your leadership goals, what are you going to do for your constituents, and why now? That's another question. Why now? Why are you doing this now? And then where are you now? That's another question. And then your leadership positions, you want backwards mapping. This is one thing they taught us, I'll never forget. They say, okay, go from your acceptance speech and then work backwards to even formalizing your committee, formalizing your fundraising, your campaign. So they say, so go from your speech. What would your speech look like? So if any of you have this aspiration, begin writing your acceptance speech now, and then take that speech and then work backwards and put together your campaign. Put together your campaign. Y'all, and I'm hesitant to say this, but I'm gonna say this anyway. With Stacey Abrams running for office, y'all know what happened there is silencing her from doing what she did. She can't do both. She can't do both. So who's gonna fill that void? Hello, somebody. Anyway, your personal political assets. What are your personal political, what are your skills? What's your knowledge, and what are your relationships? So even from that acceptance speech, you have to start thinking about, who are the people in the room? And what are the relationships that I have with the people in the room? That's where you start. So you start identifying, come up with 12 names. You come up with, okay, who are the first 12 people I can ask to join me on this campaign? Who are the 12 people who I know I can go to and ask for $100 a piece? I know that's a small goal, but you take that small goal and you enlarge it as you're building. I'm going to get more into that on another day. But these are the things you do. So if you're interested, or if you know anybody that's interested, make sure you're giving them this information. They start with their campaign acceptance speech. What is their speech? And then from their speech, they work their way backwards to building their campaign. And then when it comes to relationship, who's in the room when you're making that speech? Now, to really hone in on that, who's on the stage with you? Who's on the stage with you? And then who's in your front row? See, we cannot ignore those things. That's how you run a successful campaign. And I gave you like a whole 2-day training in like just a short time, but I would have to unpack that later. That's going to be the political savvy pieces that we're going to do. Now, in addition to that, what is the program reflection and the growth? What does that look like for you? Okay, there's a lot here. I'm going to try to get through as much as this as possible. So then let's start with community. In the community, what community are you seeking to lead? Now, you're probably like, well, the community in which I live. Well, who are they? What are they? Who's all involved? How many LGBTQIA people are in the community? How many young people are in the community? What's the age of your voters? What is the split between Democrat, Green Party, Republican, and Independent? What's the split? What's the dollar? What's the economic status? What are the differences of people? You have to pull it that way. What makes a good leader in the community? You have to identify, well, who's been a good leader in the community in the first place? So you have to go from that. And then what is your vision for positive change in your community? What's the positive change? Not complaining. Notice there's a difference there. You don't want to complain about it. You want to look at what's the positive change here. And then you have to look at your progressive, and I'm using the word progressive, political landscape. And this doesn't matter what party you run for, but in everything, there has to be a progression. There has to be a progressive landscape. Now you're saying, well, but I'm conservative. Even in the conservative landscape, this is one thing they taught us, I'll never forget. Even if you are conservative, your platform has to show some progression. And that's really what progressive is. What does that look like moving forward, looking into 2022, 23, 24, 25, up to 2030? What's the progression there? So when they hit that, I was like, wow, it's amazing how we don't want to associate the two. We think progressive, Democrat, we think conservative, Republican, but every party has to have some progression. Hello, somebody, they do. So here's a couple of questions. What events in your life has shaped your political awareness? You've heard me talk about this before. What motivates you now to lead a political change? Who in your life exhibits leadership that you would like to model, or who you would like to mentor you or inspire you? What are your progressive values with that? And where do they come from? How did you build on that? And then why are you interested in becoming a leader in this season? Why now? Again, a lot to unpack, but I wanted to at least give you just a little piece of that as I'm going into January, just to prepare you as to where we're going. We have work to do. News in motion. Let me tell you what news is defined as. News is defined as noteworthy information. So whether I'm talking mimosas, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, whether I'm talking about news, the stock market, NASA, whatever, if it's noteworthy information, you're going to hear it right here on News in Motion. We added a tier to our Patreon because some people were saying, I don't want to come on the webinar or think, what can I do to give? So we added a tier called Motivator, where it's $30 a month. But get this, because we've been on Patreon and because we have proven ourselves worthy, you can now do it a year and not do it monthly. Now, if you already are in a tier, you would have to cancel the tier and then come back on the tier and click that you want to do it yearly. That will save on fees, taxes, and everything else. So it's your choice, but we wanted to let you know that we did add the Motivator one on there yesterday in case you want to check that out. That's patreon.com/newsinmotion. Again, Patreon, www.patreon.com/newsinmotion. All right, y'all, for 12 days of Christmas, I want to give my favorite mimosa recipes, Mimosa Recipes, as we call it. Many of you know last year we did different kind of lists and countdown through October, I believe, to December. We're going to do a few more of those. We don't know if we're going to carry those into 2022, but let me give you this mimosa recipe. It's called the Christmas time cranberry mimosa. Now you need a bottle of champagne or sparkling cider or soda water for those of you who want it to be the virgin non-alcoholic version. You want a bottle of cranberry or cranberry pomegranate juice, not cocktail. So again, a bottle of champagne or sparkling cider or soda water. And then you want a bottle of cranberry or cranberry pomegranate, 100% juice, not cocktail. You want rosemary sprigs for garnish. And then you either want to get frozen or fresh or dried cranberries. Frozen, fresh, or dried. You'll use those for afterwards. All right, what you're going to do, you're going to take a container, probably a rectangle container is fitting. You want to cover the bottom of that with sugar. You're like, what? Just not a lot of sugar. Just cover the bottom of that with sugar. You want to take about a tablespoon of cranberry juice or the cranberry pomegranate juice and sprinkle it across the sugar. Then you want to add a little bit more sugar if you think you need. If you want to sprinkle a little bit more of the cranberry juice, fine. But do not drench the sugar in cranberry juice. Don't do that. Then you're going to take the cranberries, whether they're frozen, fresh, or the dried, and you're going to put that in the bottom of the container. You're going to put the lid on it. You're going to shake it up. You're going to shake it up to get all the sugar on the cranberries. You're going to shake it up. Now, you're going to need about 3 or 4 hours. You can put it in the freezer, but I suggest the refrigerator, and I suggest you prep it the night before, put it in the refrigerator, so when you wake up the next morning, voila, you have it. You're going to take your champagne flute. When you open up the lid of the container, you're going to turn it upside down to get the sugar around the rim of the champagne flute. You're going to turn it right side up. You're going to add half champagne. Yeah, you are. Then you're going to top it off with the cranberry or the cranberry pomegranate 100% juice. Don't fill it to the top because you're going to garnish it with those sugared cranberries. Oh, it's so good. Then you're going to put your rosemary sprig in there. And if you're crazy like me, you're going to take a candy cane, take the wrapping off, put the candy cane and stir it up with the candy cane, put it on the side, drink up, turn on some Christmas music, and enjoy the day. There you go. There you have it. All right, y'all, my inspirational message for today, and we're out of here. I get these daily announcements. I think you get it as well, Pastor Antoinette, from Faith Life. And I'm going to talk about Genesis chapter 8, verse 1. And it says, but God remembered Noah. I know some of y'all probably say, she done gone from a mimosa to talking about Jesus. Jesus turned water into wine, so don't be mad. Yeah, they did. And he saved the best wine at the wedding to the end. Hello, somebody. Anyway, so the inspirational message, Genesis 8:1. But God remembered Noah. Y'all, this messed with me this morning. It gave me all kinds of excitement. I see you too, Davia. But God remembered Noah. Now listen to this. And all the beasts and all the livestock that were with him in the ark. And God made the wind blow over the earth and the waters subside. Now, I read all of that. But when I read that first piece where it says, but God remembered Noah, I got excited. Whatever you're going through right now, no matter if you're like, it's been a whole 20 months, a whole 24 months, it's been a long 30 days, it's been a long couple of weeks, it's been a long couple of hours, but God remembered Noah. Whatever you have asked for, whatever you prayed for, but God remembers you. But God remembers that prayer. But God remembers you, Riakis. But God remembers you, Kim Edmondson. But God remembers you, Diane Ladybug. But God remembers you, John Gore. But God remembers you, Davia. But God remembers you, Cherie. But God remembers you, Hester. But God remembers you, Lori. I can't go through the list. Insert your own name in there. But God remembered. Put your name in there. But God remembered Gail. Y'all, we may think that this is just becoming too difficult, or we're waiting for God to respond. And we're saying, God, where are you? He remembers you. He remembers you. But God remembered Noah. Y'all almost lost my mind this morning. But God remembers Pastor Alex. But God remembers Oscar. But God remembers Kenny Stanley. But God remembers Paul. But God remembers Patricia. But God remembers Demia. But God remembers Latrice. But God remembers Isaac and Isaiah. But God remembers Fred. But God remembers filling your name. But God remembers you, Kim. God remembers you, Regina. God remembers you, Adrian. God remembers you. God remembers you. But God remembers. So no matter what is going on, have it planted in your heart. But God remembered. When you are thinking that, oh, all hope is gone, but God remembered Noah, and then start reading the story of Noah and seeing how long it took Noah to get to where people thought he was nuts. But God remembered. But God remembered. He could have left them out there, but he remembered. He remembered that he was faithful. He remembered that he was obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice. But God remembered. But God remembered. Ooh, that one hit me. But God remembered. That one should excite you. But God remembers. God remembers. He remembers. It may be 20 years later, but God remembers. It may be 20 minutes later, but God remembers. But God remembered Noah. All right, y'all, stay well. Y'all know what I say. Remember to make some bold moves. Until tomorrow, I am your host, Gail Dudley. This has been today's News in Motion. But God remembered Noah.